Yo, what's up, everybody? Another episode of Dame Calls Game this week. Monday night, once again, 8:30 p.m. every week. To those of you who aren't protesting, or that are protesting watching the NFL season, I should say, we're here for some basketball talk tonight. Um, since last week, pretty much, the current news, the Lakers are moving on to the Western Conference Finals, and the Eastern Conference Finals has been set as Boston and Miami. But before we get there, just to cover as of what we left off on last week, right as our show ended, or after our show ended last week, PG 13 and Clippers, uh, Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, they are now moving on to game 7 against Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and them on the Denver Nuggets. Uh, don't know how that happened, but it happened, and here we are. Um, I've been trying to tell people you can't sleep on Denver, and apparently the Clippers have been playing a little bit too lackadaisical for their liking. Um, Jamal Murray, he showed up a little bit just when he needed to. Nikola Jokic, I'm pretty sure, is averaging like 25 points a game or something around those numbers. He's having himself a good offseason this year, so that game 7 should be interesting. After that, the Rockets lost to the Lakers. I apologize. Game 5, James Harden attempted to carry that team, but Russell Westbrook in that game 5 was just absolutely atrocious. As everybody knows, Skip Bayless likes to attribute their Rockets loss to Daniel House being kicked out of the bubble and not being able to play in the playoffs anymore. But let's be real. The Lakers just they played too big for the Rockets, and like everybody knows or should know, small ball won't last forever. So the Rockets are up out of there. Speaking of the Rockets, Mike D'Antoni has now told the upper management of the Houston Rockets that he will not be returning. He told them that he will now become a free agent coach and look for a new place or a new position in the new place. Whichever one happens, who knows? I'm sure there's another team in the league that'll love to have him as an offensive mind or even a head coach. Just know that whatever team that is, they're going to need to have some players that know how to play defense because he doesn't coach it that way. Um, However, there is some other coaches that are out there. Billy Donovan has been informed that he's not returning next year as well. Him and the upper management of the OKC Thunder have both kind of mutually decided that he will no longer be their coach. They were attempting to find an extension to his contract, but they both decided that is no longer what they want. Um, Another coach, I think I mentioned it a little bit last week, Steve Nash has been hired to be the Brooklyn Nets head coach, so there's that. But that's past news. Um, the start of the conference finals, the NBA has let coaches and staff know that no family members will be permitted. They're not allowing family members of coaches and staff. However, players' parents, family, not parents, have been allowed into the bubble. Um, they also started a bubble school. That way, whenever the players have their families come in, and if they have young children or children in general, they can have classes for those kids. Um, it's being called the safest classroom in the country because it is in this fully tested every like 2 days bubble that everybody knows of. Um, like I said, Eastern Conference Finals is Boston and Miami. So there goes the show. Miami beat Milwaukee. The number 1 seed is up out of here. And speaking of that number 1 seed, Giannis and I believe the co-owner of the Bucks had a 3-hour lunch on Friday, not too long ago, just a few days, uh, talking about the future of him and their team. The co-owner apparently had told him that he'd be more than willing to go into the luxury tax to bring in some other superstars to benefit the team or make that team better. It's just all talk right now. Giannis said that he's going on a vacation, so after the vacation, they'll talk again to see where they're at. Um, but I don't know. If I'm the Bucks, I look at how they did without him in those 2 games, and I think they played just a little bit better. Um, but it just depends on how much star power you want. Like you haven't done anything to gain all this type of respect yet. So where like, yeah, you've won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, you've won an MVP. Yeah, you're really good, but look where your team's at. Like you've done nothing to help the team, or the team's done nothing to help you, whichever way you see it. Um, but to me, the one game that the Bucks won, it was in spite of Giannis. He left with an injury, and they won that game. And then they came out the next game. He wasn't available for it, and hell, they gave the Miami Heat a run for their money until the end. So I don't know. It really all just depends. But like I said, Lakers up and bounced the Rockets in 5 games in the Western Conference, so they're sitting here pretty, waiting on the winner of the Clippers or Nuggets. 5 games that series took, and LeBron has now become the third third most winning playoff series player ever. He's sitting with 37 playoff series wins. He's tied with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The only 2 people ahead of him are Robert Horry with 39 playoff series wins and Derek Fisher at 40. On top of that, LeBron has also become the player to own the most playoff game wins. Granted, it did take him a lot of them. He's at 163 now, I believe, is what that Game 5 win took him to. So, 163 playoff wins. Poof. Nothing short of historic. LeBron's been a great player through his career. Yeah, I understand people are going to give him slack because, oh, he cries. Oh, he changes rules. Oh, he gets super teams. Yeah and no. He didn't really create a super team in Miami. He got Chris Bosh to join him, and join Dwayne Wade. There's always been powerful duos throughout NBA history. Always, if not trios. Granted, they were done more quote unquote professionally because the teams either drafted or traded for them, but you don't know what the players were doing back then. There was no. Yeah, LeBron was the first person to nationally televise his decision to change teams from Cleveland to Miami. Took his talents down to South Beach, got some rings, went back to Cleveland, got a ring. He did it. Doesn't matter how. But moving on from that, like I said, LeBron, Lakers, they get a 5-day rest, I think, before they see the winner because there's no basketball today. There's basketball tomorrow, but it's not the Lakers because Clippers and Nuggets haven't won yet. So I don't know. But yeah, so the Thunder, they're looking for a whole core rebuild. They're looking for a new coach now that Billy Donovan's not there. Do they build on the core that they have, or do they get rid of pieces and try and completely restart all over again? Like they made the trade last year for Chris Paul, Isaiah Nuggets in 7. That's what I said too, but I don't know. It's basketball. It's playoffs. I would love to see the Nuggets win, just because I think that'd be an interesting matchup with the Lakers, but I can't guarantee it, obviously. Yeah, there's a few teams looking for coaches now. Rockets, Pacers, Thunder. They're all open. The coaching market is turning. Oh, the 76ers are also looking for a new coach now that Brett Brown's gone. I wish they would fire their freaking general manager. That's a different topic altogether. Chris Paul, speaking of the Thunder, needing to either rebuild or retool. There's been some rumors, don't know where they're coming from, but there's been some rumors that Chris Paul to Milwaukee is going to become a conversation. It could happen. I could see Milwaukee and OKC making that deal. I could, but I don't know what OKC would get out of it. I don't think OKC needs to go get Giannis. I don't know if that would benefit them in any way, except they get another scorer. He's just I really don't know. I don't want to get into the whole topic of I don't think Giannis is this good, even though he's proven day in, day out that he's a really good player. Yeah, I don't know. So there's that. The NBA is actually targeting a new draft date. Now that there's been a bubble and a delay in the season, they're talking about pushing the draft back from October 16th. Now they're looking at making it November 18th. That way they can allow more prep with the players and people. Courtney said, I told you about the. Courtney, I've been saying this. I always thought the Nuggets would be legit. Um, sure. James Harden, the Rockets, man. I don't know. It was whack. He had some games where he looked really good. He looked like James Harden's MVP season. And there was the game that he went like 2 of 16 from shooting from the field. You didn't think they could win. I literally said I think they have a chance to beat the Clippers. You can go back and watch the show. I don't know what episode it was, but um, Rush Brick, you can't win without a big. Yeah, no, they're small ball, man. It's not a serious fix. It's not. No. Like your tallest player being my height at 6'5", 6'6", just it's not okay. Like I understand you got Tyson Chandler for a little bit there, but now that him and Daniel House got booted, uh, there's no big in your lineup at all. Like you start with PJ Tucker, he's 6'5", 6'6", maybe at center, playing up against the Lakers that got a rotational big with JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. Sometimes they play Anthony Davis at center. Like if you have a team that stretches out the floor with a big like that that can also sit in the paint and body people, you're playing a dangerous game, playing the way that the Rockets played. But yeah, Russell Westbrook played like dog doo doo. Golden State can do it because they rotate. I mean, even Golden State had a big. Daniel House got kicked out the bubble and his house. Oh man, yeah, that's I don't know, man. That's whack. Like I understand you're away from your family for however long, but there's no excuse to go out and do what he did. Like there's no defending that. Just like the Rockets, no defense. Um, the Lakers though, everybody knew that they would be good. It's the Lakers, it's LeBron, it's Anthony Davis, but their role players have been stepping up, and it's been different ones here and there. But Rajon Rondo, now that he's back, he's had a big leadership role. Um, the way he manages the floor. He's smart. He knows how to pass. He knows where to pass. That IQ of him, perfect. I wouldn't. Let me retract. I wouldn't say perfect, but damn, is he a good, smart basketball player? And he's not going to put you in a position to lose a game. Um, actually, one topic I do want to talk about. Now we talk about managing games. Um, going back to the Eastern Conference, the Boston and Toronto series, that Game 7, when Kyle Lowry had his sixth foul, I believe it is the foul out in the NBA. The challenge that Nick Nurse threw, to challenge that call. Smartest two basketball player. Oh yeah, I completely agree. No, Rondo's been a very good rotational piece for them. I'm not gonna say play him all game because it's not a smart move, but he's been a hell of a rotational piece. He's got IQ. Um, but yeah, no, the conference, not conference, god dang it, the challenge that Nick Nurse like decided to take whenever Kyle Lowry fouled out of that game. I actually want to see some like feedback on this. Do you think it's a smart thing? Courtney, I know you're one, so I think that's smart. Like layup goes up, Kyle Lowry's there. On camera, it's an obvious foul. On camera, it is an obvious foul. The refs call it beep. Kyle Lowry gets tossed because it's his final foul that's allowed in the game. But Nick Nurse challenges it with like 30, maybe 30 seconds left. I don't even think it was that. I think it was like 15, 18 maybe. And because Kyle Lowry fouls out, they go down to the other side of the floor. I'm in football mode right now. Sorry. They go down the other side of the floor, and Fred VanVleet's dribbling out the clock. He gets a screen that's set for him, but it is a poor, poor screen. No separation on the defender. He keeps dribbling, and then he just throws up a prayer and absolutely flopped it. I understand that Siakam didn't play the best game that he could have in Game 7, but I don't know. I think that I would have challenged it still, just because. Yeah, see, that's what I said. I said just because it's your. I'm gonna say it. It's your best player on the floor. You don't want to lose him that at that spot. Like you've seen what he did. He forced the Game 7, or he didn't force the Game 7, but he is one of the main reasons that Game 7 got forced. In my opinion, if he doesn't foul out, if he doesn't get that foul called, he's the one that takes that last shot instead of VanVleet. So I would have challenged it, but there's some opposing opinions on that in the world. I don't know, man. I would have 100% called the challenge because you don't want to lose your best player in that fashion. So I don't know. Yeah. So the Lakers are in the Western Conference. Clippers, Nuggets, expecting Game 7. I think it is tomorrow. I think. We can keep talking about the Celtics though, because you want to talk about rotational pieces. Shoot, Marcus Smart, man. People were hating on him so much last year, or even in the offseason. Nobody wanted to keep him in Boston. If you're a Boston fan, I want to hear your opinion on this because there were so many people that I know that wanted to get rid of him. And now that he has stayed, Boston kept him against whatever words that people were saying, or maybe some people enjoy having him and wanted to keep him. But now that he's stayed, he has absolutely proven that he was worth it. The plays he has made, the hustle he has shown, has been absolutely insane for the Boston. Like, let's be real here. Like, man, Marcus Smart has been on every loose ball that he's near. He's played great on ball defense. He's gotten chased down blocks. He's gotten set play blocks. He's scored when they needed him to score. He's done everything that he needed to make sure that his team and him are moving on. Now, for upcoming Miami Boston, I have done some thought on it. I think it's going to be a great series. I will say this. I think the Miami team was absolutely built to beat Milwaukee. The lineup that Miami has from 1 to 9, because I don't think they ever played their whole roster down to 12. So I'll say 1 to 9. The way that they played, they were on absolute fire. Yeah, I understand. If you're on fire, you're on fire, and it's going to be hard to stop. But the players that Miami have are set on their roster specifically to beat Milwaukee. Like that matchup was just not favorable for the Bucks and absolutely favorable for Miami. Like it was insane. Jimmy Butler had himself a hell of a series. Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo, Kendrick Nunn. Hell, even he had a great series when he played. Tyler Hero, Andre Iguodala. He's been proven as help for that team. He almost seemed ageless in that series against Milwaukee, man. But just to preview, yeah, I think Miami. I think Miami's going to struggle more against Boston than they did against the Milwaukee. I think they have a good chance to pull it out, but it's only if it goes to 7. My opinion, I think Boston wins it in 6. I don't see it going quickly. I think it'll be 6 games and Boston pulls out because Boston has just been absolutely like dominant. Yeah, they dropped games that they should not have dropped against Toronto. Like they shouldn't have had that game, this series go to 7 games. It should not have happened that way, but it did. They pulled it out. Hey, they're here. But whenever everybody's on point on that roster, wrap it. Jason Tatum, if he's I wouldn't even say if he's on fire. If he's having a good game, if he's having a Jason Tatum game, I'll say, and Jaylen Brown has a Jaylen Brown game, Kemba Walker has a Kemba Walker game, Marcus Smart, Daniel Tice, like if they just play them instead of trying to do more, they should pull it out. They should. They really should, in my opinion. Um, just for after that, because I know Denver and LA Clippers have a game 7 to still play. Um, personally, the way it's looking, I think the Clippers will have a damn good game 7, just because they're on the fence, man. Like if they don't pull this game 7 out, they're going to get absolutely flamed for it on social media, and everybody knows. Everybody knows you don't want that. Um, I don't know. I think they'll have a redemption game. I think they'll come out on fire just because they need to. I don't think they can afford not to come out on fire, and if they do, it's over. I still think Denver will pull it out though, the way it's looking, and I'm pretty positive. I am pretty positive it would make Denver the first team ever to recover from down 3-1 in 2 series back to back. Like they were down 3-1 in the first series against Utah. Now they're down. They were down 3-1 against LA Clippers. Now it's 3-3 in Game 7, man. The Clippers, they also dropped 2 back-to-back 16-point leads, took L's on them. So that is embarrassing in itself. Now, if you were to lose the series too, man, oh man. But even after that championship, I obviously I said I think Boston's going to pull it out. I think Lakers are going to come out against whoever goes to the Western Conference Finals against them. I would really like to see the Lakers versus Miami, just because LeBron versus Eric Spoelstra against Pat Riley. I think that'd be a very, very interesting series. But Boston, I don't know. I really do think Boston could pull it out against LA. Um, obviously, they're all young, but they're all really good. That's the issue. Like when you're really good up and down your roster for a bunch of positions up and down, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is good, solid. 6, 7, 8, solid. Problem I have with the Lakers is like they got LeBron, they got AD, they got Kyle Kuzma, they got Rajon Rondo, they got Alex Caruso. Eh, like I don't know, man. It's hard to say. So East Coast or Eastern Conference is going to be the championship of the NBA. But I think I would like to say it's going to be a LeBron, just because I want to see LeBron win more. But I don't know. I can't. I can't say he's going to, just because the 2 teams that are coming out of the East, whichever team comes out of the East, is deep. Like they got deep rosters in the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference, Lakers don't really have that deep of a roster. That's their issue, and I'll argue that forever. Um, but after the series in the off season, man, don't be shocked if Houston trades away Russell Westbrook. Do not be shocked. Yes, they traded Chris Paul and 2 first-round draft picks for him. Like, ah, it wasn't worth it. You obviously see what happened to him. Like, they got bounced again anyway. So what's the problem? So don't be shocked if they get if he gets traded from Houston. Um, also, Kyle Lowry, he's showing that he needs to be somewhere. or that he is someone. So, I mean, where's he go? Does he stay? Does he get traded? Does he ask for a trade? Um, Anthony Davis, he's only on a 1 year contract for the Lakers. Does he resign? If they win, yeah, I think he would resign. But if they get bounced or if they lose in the championship, Chicago was looking at him earlier. He could go to Chicago. He could go anywhere he wanted to, really. If we're being honest, he could go wherever. Orlando could use him. That's for damn sure. Who else? Let's see. And less relevant news to the playoffs. Pau Gasol and his wife had a newborn daughter yesterday. Her name is Elizabeth Gianna Gasol. They named her after Kobe Bryant's late daughter. Obviously, that's a terrible thing that happened. So, in order to honor his best friend, his best teammate ever, they named his newborn daughter, and pretty much they named her after his other daughter. Like, that's how close Pau and Kobe were. So there's that. Kendrick Perkins said that the Lakers are going to be dangerous if Rajon Rondo keeps playing the way he's been playing, and I agree. He's been really smart. He's been a really good team manager. He's a really good veteran presence for that team because LeBron, him, and AD, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, like, they really haven't done much. Rajon Rondo's got rings. LeBron's got rings. Nobody else on that team does. I don't know. JaVale McGee does, but that's because he played for the Warriors. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see. Which players have been most valuable this postseason? Man, regular season MVP, supposed to be going to Giannis. Don't know why, but I mean, I do know why, but no. LeBron James, obviously, you see what he does for this team. If he's not there, the Lakers, you saw what happened last year. They were the 4th seed in the West. Whenever he was there, then he misses 20 games and they drop out of the playoffs because of it. You see what happened to the Cavs. He was there. They win a championship. He leaves. They win, 15 games the next season? I don't know, man. Kawhi Leonard, yes. When he shows up, the Clippers are dangerous. But when he drops the ball, the Clippers drop the ball. That's their issue. They got 2 stars that are supposed to be holy grail of basketball, but man, Jimmy Butler, this one. Jimmy Butler, man, he's been proving that all this trash talk you heard about him, he is proving all of you wrong. Whoever it was saying bad stuff on Jimmy Butler's name, I would like to see them formally apologize to him for the absolute blatant disrespect. Yes, he forced himself out of Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. He forced himself out of there. He got out of Philly when he needed to because Philly has obviously shown you what they're capable of. Nothing. So he got up out of there. Now he's in Miami where his quote unquote bad ego. I don't think he's got bad ego. I think he needed people that were willing to listen to his leadership and say, all right, we're all willing to die. Let's go. Like, let's battle. He's showing what he can do with a team like this. I think it's just he needs people to accept, hey, we're all going to battle. Like, you're either dying with me or we're all making it out alive. And this whole Miami roster, it looks like they are all saying, all right, let's go to battle then. Like, show us what we got. And you see the confidence. Duncan Robinson has come out and he said that he's the most confident he's ever been in all of his basketball career, not even just professionally. And he's got the most made 3-point attempts by anybody that's undrafted in NBA history. He was an undrafted player. I think this is his 2nd year in the league, and he's already got the most. Madness. James Harden. I don't know if I agree with this. He's number 4. Yeah, highs and lows of James Harden. He's either really good or really bad. But That's James Harden, at least in my opinion. Um, he either makes all his shots or makes none of them. Like I said, he went 2 and 16 in one game. Number 5 is Anthony Davis. This is his first playoff series with the Lakers, obviously. His first year with the Lakers. He struggled a bit in both game ones of the series against the Blazers and the Rockets. But overall, he's had really good performances, defensively and offensively. Bam Adebayo, yes, 100%. Jamal Murray, yes, 100%. Kyle Lowry, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, and what I would imagine is number 11 on this list would be Jaylen Brown. Like, this list is solid. The 10 most valuable players in the postseason: 10 Kemba, 9 Tatum, 8 Kyle Lowry, 7 Jamal Murray, 6 Adebayo, 5 AD, 4 James Harden, 3 Jimmy Butler, 2 Kawhi, 1 LeBron. 100%. Completely agree with that. Also, in the NBA, they've done some diving into the way the game's played. Obviously, we've all seen the transition to more of a three-point shooting game, and actually, it's been proven now. NBA playoff success has never been so dependent on 3 points. It's a league of make or miss, and 3-point shooters have been streaky throughout history. But this postseason, man, yeah. Let's see. In 2013-2014, the playoffs, the postseason threes, there were 44.6 threes per game. That is combined between the two teams all the way through the playoffs in 2013-2014. This year, 2019-2020 postseason has risen to 74.8%, like 3 points per game. Like it's 43% of your total shots in a game. That's how many 3 points are being thrown up. Like almost half of the shots in a game are 3-pointers. It's risen 30% since 6 years ago. My guy. And obviously, you've seen what happens. Whichever team makes more 3 points, obviously they win the game because you don't want to trade threes and twos. It's not a winning, it's not a way to go. Let's go more. Most recently, though, all these protests going on. Keep protesting, please. Funny news, though. Some of the protesters here in Orlando, right around the bubble, they were actually blocking a charter bus outside of the Orlando bubble. This charter bus was filled with press and cameras and paparazzi. And protesters kept them out. They couldn't get past, so there's that. Yeah, man, it's been a little wild. I love the protests. I love that they're going on, as long as it stays peaceful. In my opinion, keep protesting, please. Keep using your voice, professionally, publicly. Just go. But yeah, so that's really all that there is to be covered this week. Just looking forward to what happens this playoff series with Boston and Miami. I really hope everybody stays healthy, no injuries. I don't want to see any injuries because that gives instant advantage to whatever team is the opposing team. Jason Tatum versus Jimmy Butler is going to be a good matchup. I assume that's going to be the matchup. If not, Jaylen Brown versus Jimmy Butler is going to be really good. Kemba versus Goran, that's going to be great. Bam versus Daniel Theis. Obviously, I want to give Bam the advantage, but Daniel Theis is no slouch on either side of the floor. So I'm looking forward to who wins this Nuggets series. I pray it's the Nuggets just because I'm tired of the Clippers. I don't want to see Kawhi get all the praise that he gets. He fell into the Spurs, lucky. Then he got traded to Toronto, and Toronto somehow ended up being one of the best teams in ever. They are filled with a whole bunch of real, honestly, nobodies. Kyle Lowry was the most notable player on that team whenever he was there, and then Serge Ibaka came around and Kawhi, and then they made that team an absolute dog pound, man. They turned it around, won a chip. You see what happened. But then you look at it now, Kawhi's gone. They were almost back. Like, man. So yeah, that's really all that needs to be covered. Um, anything else beyond that is just for personal reasons. So what I'm gonna do here is shamelessly do this again. Loudmouth Sports Talk. We have shirts. They're $20, man. Free shipping. Just go to bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk. Miss Michelle has been an absolute phenomenal help with us. She's the one that makes these shirts for us and gets them out. Free shipping, like I said, the shirt itself is $20. Also, we've got a hoodie on sale for $35 right now because of the NFL kickoff. I believe the code is I don't know. I don't remember. Hold on. Let's find out for you. Before I lie. Hoodies. Yes. Hoodie. Right there. It's blue. Beautiful. $40 normally if you pre-order. Shipping starts in 4 days, man. September 18th. Just please go look at the hoodies. It's about to start getting cold. Most of our fan base is up at north, so I know it's cold up there, and I know you need hoodies, and you can never fail getting more of them. So if you would just go ahead and purchase them, shipping will be out, man. You'll get them. Ladies, gentlemen, we got sizes for everybody ranging from small to 5X. We pretty much cover the whole spectrum, man. But yeah, so there's that. I would like to thank Miss Michelle again for Bombshell Bowling helping us out. I'd like to thank you guys for coming in, not avoiding my show, even though there's football going on. I look forward to seeing what happens this week with basketball and seeing you next week again. 8:30s on Monday every week. Thank you very much and have a good night.